Okay, today I'm working on my new, to me, it's a 2011 550i 6-speed manual. It has multiple codes for low pressure. Here, I'm just gonna run the codes so you can see. Gotta get this up in there. This is not a scanner that I recommend you using on a BMW. There's multiple places to get your information on what scanner should be best for you. You can spend a bunch of money on a Beamer scanner, but they are proprietary to themselves. Like, this will give you a generic code, but if you want to know exactly what's going on and really go into further diagnosis, I recommend getting a BMW specific scanner. It doesn't have to be from Beamer, but so first code is low fuel pressure, bank 1. Cold start, fuel pressure too low, bank 1. Fuel rail pressure sensor, pressure low, bank 1. Bank 1, bank 1, bank 1. Fuel rail pressure sensor, pressure low, bank 1. So that all the same. And in the past, I've gotten misfire codes 1 through 4, cylinders 1 through 4, all misfiring. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it. You see how hard that was for it to start? And if you come over here and listen, it's really loud. I don't know if you can hear that ticking. But this side is bank 1. Bank 2 is also making noise, but I don't have any codes for it. So I'm going to replace that one, but today, should come in today. And if you open this, doesn't sound good. But how these work is there's 3 lobes on the cam, and there's a little plunger in the high pressure pump. When I pull it, I'll show you. But those lobes hit the pump like a cam. It is off of the cam, but it's like a valve, and they cycle the piston up and down, and that creates high pressure. In these cars, it's direct injection. If you're not aware, you have a lift tank in the pump, and a lift pump in the tank that feeds fuel up to these high pressure pumps. And since this is a direct injection, it's much like a diesel in the fact that it turns that low 60 psi or 80 psi off of the lift tank or lift pump into like 1,000 psi, and it's direct injection into the head. So you gotta take this cover off. Ooh, a little bit of a oil leak on the turbo. That's interesting. But you gotta unplug all these sensors, which this seems like it's gonna be really easy to pull off. And then you're able to get to that pump, and you gotta be careful. I'll show you, but it's high pressure. So you don't want to you want to keep the motor cold before you take it apart and expect there to be spraying fuel. Just have a rag over the lines. I'll show you. So to get this air box off, I just loosened this guy. There's a little piece that appears that I broke, but you just gotta get Yeah, here you go. You just click that up. Be careful. As you can see, they're easy to break. This is your MAF sensor, so it's kind of important. And then there's a little clip here that you just pop. Now the whole air box can come out. And then this guy can negotiate. Probably have to take this bar off, but this is really what I'm trying to get to. So I probably won't even pull that off. This is all I need to access is right here. But there's 2 lines and a plug. Here's the plug. This seems to be rather difficult to do with one hand. But you want to be careful with all of these plugs because it's on top of a hot V8, which if you're not familiar, most V8s, the intake's right here. This is the exhaust. This is the turbos. So it's inverted. The intakes are down there. This is the hot V. Heat rises. So all of this heat that's being produced by the cats and compressing the exhaust gas in the turbine, this is a massive amount of heat. So all of these plugs are going to be seized, kind of like this one, and super brittle. And the older these cars get, the worse that's going to be. And like, check this out. That probably has something to do with something. Some kind of misfire. Oh, and see the rust on this, the corrosion? Yeah, that's loose. And that's probably, I wonder why there's oil all over. Is this oil feed? No. That's oil. This is coolant. Hopefully, I don't have a bad turbo. But we shall see. But as you can see, this guy is fucking breaking all kinds. Excuse my language. So I'm gonna make a seal. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. This tube is gonna have to be replaced. See, the tab that is supposed to hold it in place is broken off. So that's no good. See this one? Oh, they're both like that. Nice. Okay, well, at least we know about it. That's the problem with this kind of car. You're gonna run into these kind of things. Don't buy one of these if you're not willing to do the maintenance. Okay. So, a little bit more progress. I'm gonna start off by saying I'm going to order the proper parts. That being said, these are expensive parts. If you order them through BMW, you're looking at thousands of dollars. Now, I've been a mechanic for nine years now, just about. And I like to do things, I don't know if you want to say it my own way, but all motors have the same principles. All systems are very similar. BMW in particular is rather complicated. They use their own style of like water lines they have these clips on them. It's proprietary to BMW. It's what they do. Like, so I'll show you what's going on. Over here, I noticed the crankcase pressure system. This relieves the crankcase pressure. There's a little check valve in here. This hose has all kinds of goop and whatever. Somebody repaired it. And on this side, because this seal was not sealing, and that's extremely important for it to seal to the intake, otherwise the math's not going to read properly. I jiggled this guy, goes like this, just a little bit, and this flex hose disintegrated. So if you look, you can buy this part. I think it's like $120 on Amazon, or you can take a razor and cut it, and then come over here. Let's see if I can do it on camera. You just really carefully scribe it and then cut again, same spot. You don't want to cut through into the plastic barb underneath, and you want to be careful with the actual this guy, because if you want to avoid replacing that or breaking it, because then you have to buy the whole thing. So now you're able to pop that off, and voila, you have a barbed hose end. So what you can do is go to your local auto parts store and just get standardized oil hose. Just whatever. I have this stuff just laying around, but it's not quite big enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to O'Reilly's with this and find one that's a snug fit and that you won't break it pushing it on, because I could get that to fit over, but I risk breaking that fragile piece of plastic. And like these guys, you got to be real careful pulling them off because it will break. And then this isn't a snug fit anymore. So what I'm going to do, I already did it on this side. As you can see, this piece, both of them are broken on both sides for me. I didn't even get to break them myself, but that just shows you that it's heat soaked and fragile. But if you see, that's in there, that's tight. And like I said, I'm ordering these, but I'm ordering them through a source that is on my commercial account that significantly cheaper, but they're a month out. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is these rubbers are relatively supple, these seals. Like I said, this isn't technically the correct way of doing it, but it works. Take some electrical tape. Like I said, not the correct way to do it. Wrap this 2-3 times. Put this seal back on. That's now a snug fit, and it's going to create a seal, and it's not going to come off. It's going to be tight and almost difficult to get in, but it's going to seal and it's going to work. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And between these two systems getting sealed up and the high pressure fuel pump getting replaced, in theory, I'll be able to drive this thing and actually see what it's capable. Because right now I bought it in limp mode, has all the drivetrain malfunctions because of low fuel pressure on bank 1, which this is bank 1. If you're looking at the car, it's the left side is bank 1. So I'm gonna replace that high pressure fuel pump. Probably gonna order another high pressure fuel pump, these 2 intakes, and potentially this guy. But I'm gonna replace this hose as well. And like you can see, somebody's been in here. That piece is broken. This thing's broken. Like, I'm gonna see if I can get these actually, because that would be preferable for sure if I could just buy those at like O'Reilly's. So that's what I'm gonna do. So Amazon just got here. This is a remanufactured pump. As you can see, it doesn't come apart, whereas this one's broken. The shaft is actually broken, so it literally wasn't pumping. Hopefully all the metal and shit that was in there didn't go into my direct injection injectors, because those aren't cheap. But I'm gonna clean this up, make sure that this right here is wiped out and there's no debris, and then this guy just slides in. There's an O-ring to seal it. You gotta line these hard lines up. So I'm gonna seat this with the two hard lines and then put the bolts in. These are mandatory to complete the job. This bolt was loose, so I'm not even positive that this is the bolt since it seems excessively long. But it's what came out of this hole, so that's what's going back in. The other side is this with the washer, which makes more sense in my mind. But if it works, I guess. You want to tighten this slowly, so you snug it up on both sides, because it's a spring that you're compressing. Yeah, see, that does not seem right to me. That's not the right bolt. Now what am I gonna do? Word. Well, I need to find a bolt that will work. Some kind of mount I can steal off. Or you can stop recording. Alright, so I got another bolt. And it's all tight. For whatever reason they decided to put, whoever had this before, whoever was working on it, decided to put a mile long bolt where a short bolt's supposed to go. Get out of here with that. And then I got these two tight. You gotta really kind of cinch them down. There's a ton of pressure that comes out of this. And then this guy is tight. I did the electrical trick with this O-ring. So now I gotta get it in there. It's a super tight fit, which it was falling out earlier, so you want it to hold itself in place since the last guy broke the mount. I mean, it could have been a gal. Girls are bad at working on cars too, I guess.
Oh, it's 2021.
Equality, right?
There you go.
That's firmly in place. So is that. Make sure they're both all the way seated, which they are now. So now I can put this charge piping back on. Oh, where's my gloves? Hands all nasty. Even seated properly. That's tight. And then all of these were loose. I tightened them up. So I'm going to refill the coolant system. Things on top. Get all the rocks out. Yeah, the driveway worked really great. Apparently taking it off is easier than getting it back in. There we go. Get your mouth plugged in. This looks to be broken under here. Yeah? It is. Broken off. There's like dirt inside of it. Well, it's broken right here, so if you see, it's before the filter, so I guess it's not the best scenario. Pulling hot air right there, but I'll fix it later. And I lost the plug for the Mac, so it has to come back out. Doesn't matter. There you go. Tighten that up. Need new air boxes.
No bueno it was.
Yeah, people don't think it has a hole on you, but if you do something all the time, almost all things that you do all the time get a hole on you.
Mm-hmm.
O2 sensors look like they're kind of new, actually. I don't know. Probably not. All right, this is all buttoned up. Grab some coolant.
Beverage or not yet?
Probably have to top that up after we start it, which is what I'm about to do. I grab the key. Well, it's not misfiring like crazy. I don't know. Not recording. She's done. No check engine lights. I had to drive it for a little bit, put a couple miles on it, probably like 10, and then reset the codes. No lights. I'm gonna show you. Starts right up. No long crank anymore. No check engine light. It's not in limp mode. Actually, will pull boost. Pretty nice car. Pretty fun.